Your juniors and senior years, you will get a lot of experiences in classrooms before you start student teaching in the spring. But once you graduate with your ECE degree, then you'll get your license to teach in Colorado. You learn a lot about development, especially in young children. You learn a lot about theorists and their styles that they believe work best for teaching children. And obviously you learn about how to teach children like certain subject areas such as like reading, math, things like that.
I really enjoyed the classes in the ECE program. I would take one course in learning how to take meaningful observations of children and how to document that and assess it. And that would be on lecture, on site. We would all commute over to our sites and put into practice what we were doing. And so I was applying exactly what I was learning, and it felt so natural.
When you're in your cohort in our major, you really get close with your peers very quickly because you are around them a lot and you kind of become your own teaching community. And so you really create like close bonds and relationships with them and with your professors as well. And you can just sort of like lean on each other as your support system throughout this whole process because you are experiencing the same things as them at the same time. Working in the major, when you start going into classrooms, you're gonna have a lot of different experiences based on whatever classroom you are placed in. You do get the choice when you first start when you're in the preschool, because you start in the preschool your fall and in the spring, and then once you're in the spring though, you do get to go to an elementary school and you get to see that environment as well.
Some people wanted to stay local, like myself, and I worked at a local kindergarten room, whereas some people were placed in Florida or in Spain. And so they really worked with you where you wanted to work, and I felt like it was pretty accessible because if you wanted to be placed back in your hometowns, you could stay with your parents, right? That they would find a placement for you there. And you could do based on what you wanted. If you wanted to do an infant room, right? They really worked with you. And so that I appreciated. At those sites, there's like they have their own plethora of resources, right? So here we have connections with the OT program or SLPs that kind of support you as well. And we have our own trainings here that we do, or from PDIS trainings from the state. So really, there's a lot there. So there's a lot of job opportunities for early childhood licensure students. I knew I wanted to be a teacher, a preschool teacher, so I applied here. But I know people in my program who have gone on to be a director at other preschools. Additionally, you can work for the Early Childhood Council based on your county, or you can do parent education courses. So there's really a lot that you can do with it.
You really get to dive deeper into like how kids are learning and what gets them there. The coursework is very, very interesting, and you get to see like all of your courses will eventually, you'll start to see that a lot of the content starts to weave together, and you're like, oh yes, I learned this in my last course and now I'm seeing it like in the classroom. So a lot of it is just preparing your like future in this profession.